Hey there, welcome back to Dakota News Now. It is now time for another edition of Owning Your Outdoors, and joining me as always is Doug Schroeder from Lewis. And Doug, what are we chatting about today?
We're going to talk about a few garden problems I've been hearing about. People all the time call or write me and ask about different things they're having going on in their garden, and thought we'd discuss a few of them.
So one of the ones that we were thinking about talking about, rot on the bottom of tomatoes, right?
Yes, blossom end rot is real common, and people are dealing with it a lot this year. It's not actually a disease, it's a disorder of the plant. The plant, for some reason, is not transporting calcium up to the fruit, and that's usually a water issue where the root system didn't get enough water at some point, and so the fruit is lacking the calcium, and you'll start seeing that little wet spot, then it turns black and starts rotting.
Is that something that drought can also contribute to, the plant not getting enough water?
Drought is definitely a consideration on it. The high temps we had in June and getting enough water to the plants you want it to be consistent. It's better to water a couple times a week and do it to a depth of about 6 inches than to water every day and just lightly water.
So water is going to fix that. Can you add calcium to the soil to help?
You can. There are different products that do have calcium in it. There's also some sprays that you can put on your plants that also work very well. Some things that I really recommend is waiting to plant your tomatoes. Wait more towards the middle of May. People, I know in South Dakota here, we get a warm week and everybody wants to get out there and plant. But what that does is it kind of stunts the root system. It doesn't get going and limits its ability to draw that calcium the plant needs. So wait till it warms up. I would suggest the middle of May.
So you have a little bit of mulch here. Is that to help make sure that the ground doesn't dry out too much?
Right. Organic mulch works two different ways. It keeps the soil that you put in there moist and lets the plant, vegetable, pepper, whatever, take advantage of that moisture, but it also does the second thing. You know, we've talked about blight before. Most of the blight is caused by that soil splashing back up on the plant. So if you put mulch down, it doesn't allow that. So it really works for two reasons for your garden.
What else are you seeing around the garden or people talking to you about?
I'm seeing a lot of people talking about pepper plants not blooming, cucumbers quitting blooming. That can be a number of things. Usually it's a water issue. You've gone on vacation for a period, let the plants get dry. The root system is not allowing it to form blossoms. Other things can be using a fertilizer that is too high in nitrogen will actually make the plant quit blossoming. So really look at the fertilizer you're using on your plants. And lastly, I always suggest make notes of what you planted.
Yeah.
Because you want to keep a diary of what you planted. You're going to find that certain varieties worked very well in your gardens. Other varieties, you had a lot of blossom end rot or they just didn't produce. But it's always good to keep track of that.
And like we've talked about before, some plants, you don't want to plant them year after year in the same spot. You want to plant different plants there to replenish soil.
Exactly. Rotate them. They all draw different things from the soil, and you want a good balance.
All right, Doug, great tips. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're going to have all this information online at dakotanewsnow.com after the show, but make sure you stick around because we have Fastcast coming up next.